What if Earth stopped spinning for 1 second? Let's imagine something almost impossible. Earth, this enormous blue marble spinning steadily beneath our feet, suddenly stops, just for 1 second. One single, frozen heartbeat of time. No gradual slowing, no gentle easing into stillness. Just boom, a sudden, total standstill, and then everything starts spinning again like nothing happened. To understand what would happen, you first need to grasp how fast we're actually moving. Even though you feel still right now, you're hurtling through space at about 1,670 kilometers per hour or over 1,000 miles per hour. You're near the equator, simply because of Earth's rotation. We don't feel it because everything around us, the air, the oceans, the buildings, even your own hair, is moving with the planet. It's all part of one massive, coordinated spin. Now imagine the Earth suddenly slams on the brakes, but only the solid planet itself stops. The atmosphere, it keeps going. So does everything on the surface that's not bolted down, and even some things that are dot in that single second. Cities would be ripped apart. Skyscrapers would shear at their bases. Vehicles would be launched sideways at near supersonic speeds. And people would be thrown violently against anything standing in their way. Trees would be uprooted. Oceans would surge with apocalyptic force, creating mega tsunamis that race across continents. It wouldn't be one global wave, but rather a chaotic surge of water trying to continue its motion as the place. And it halts beneath it, inland. The destruction would still be immense. Imagine the winds of a super hurricane, but sideways. The kinetic energy of 8 billion humans, plus animals, cars, trains, and planes, suddenly being flung eastward, would flatten landscapes. The initial damage wouldn't even be from the stop itself, but from everything still moving when the ground no longer does. Mountains wouldn't crumble, but landslides would rage. Airplanes mid-flight would be okay. They'd just find that landing is now a lot more complicated, especially since runways may no longer be where they used to be. Satellites and the moon would continue in their orbits like nothing happened, because this isn't a gravitational pause, just a rotational one. The chaos wouldn't stop. When the spin resumes, that sudden jolt back into motion would cause a second wave of devastation, reversing many of the forces. After being hurled in one direction, everything is suddenly pulled back the other way. Buildings that somehow survive the first second may collapse in the rebound. Fires, gas leaks, floods, all secondary effects ignite in the wake of nature's most violent whiplash. And then, it's over. 1 second, the planet spins on. But for humanity, everything would have changed. Entire coastlines would be redrawn. Communication networks would be down. Emergency services would be overwhelmed or destroyed. Governments would be in chaos. Survivors would stagger through landscapes they barely recognize. The psychological trauma would be deep, and the search for answers would lead to every corner of science, faith, and imagination. People would ask, what happened? Was it an act of nature? A technological mishap? Something far beyond our understanding? And more hauntingly, could it happen again? Some might see it as a cosmic reminder of how little control we truly have, that even the most reliable constants, like the turning of the Earth, aren't promised. Others might find unity in the aftermath, drawn together by the shared experience of having lived through the unimaginable. Like a second-long reset, forcing us to look at our world and each other with new eyes. In the end, Earth would carry on, as it always does, but the people on it, we would never forget the second the world stood still and everything else didn't.